Hola, hola. Ya se oye. Bien. Vamos a seguir con el maravilloso Vampyr. Ay. Un ratito. Porque después hay que ir a ver el 3. Y mientras tanto juega SK. Así que lo tendremos aquí en una esquina. Y vamos a ver cómo juegan SK contra Cubify. Mientras jugamos al Vampyr. En cuanto abra Steam, empezamos.
Falámos também sobre isso.
Ese ruido de estática por detrás. Yo no sé si desde el OBS le puedo decir que me lo quite. Filtros. Eliminación de ruido. Vamos a ponerle a menos 15. Hecho. Parece que mucho mejor. A ver. Abro el stream. A ver. Abro el stream. Se escucha menos, pero mal igual. Un segundo. A ver, filtro. Reducción de ruidos. Menos 22. Y a ver ahora. Reducción de ruido. Menos 22. Y a ver ahora. Reducción de... Reducción de... Bien, ahora parece que bien. Perfecto. Pues quitamos esto. Ponemos esto por aquí. Abrimos el Vampyr. Ponemos la pantalla del juego. Ahora en cuanto abra se empezará a ver. Y... ¿Dónde íbamos? Había pasado el follón este de la enfermera Crane. Java, no te actualices ahora. Había pasado el follón este de la enfermera Crane. Y habíamos analizado la sangre del paisano que había muerto allí. Cuanta voz la virgen. Bien. Y el cura no, el del hospital nos dijo que en las escalas que venía que hoy era el funeral de mi hermana. La hermana a la que matamos al principio del juego, que nos la comimos. Entonces no me acuerdo cómo está el tema de misiones secundarias. Pero si no hay misiones secundarias, vamos directos al funeral, al entierro de la hermana del doctor Reed. Todo esto debería de hacer mi prueba de chat típica, que es mandarme un mensaje al chat desde el móvil y ver si se escucha. Chat. Prueba de chat. A ver si se escucha, si se ve. Sí que se ve. Por lo tanto, todo es maravilloso. Aquí... Doctor Swansea nos quería algo. No está, ¿no? Ah, está ahí. Podemos hablar con el Dr. Swansea. Hola.
I need to talk to you, Edgar. Please do so.
¿Hablamos alguna vez con él? Oh.
Nurse Crane will not be returning to Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, really? Did something happen? She seems such a very capable woman.
She was blackmailing Lady Ashbury. Thought she was murdering patients as some sick upper-class game.
Nurse Crane was playing a dangerous game. She's lucky Lady Ashbury abhors violence.
So you manage a hospital financed by a vampire?
Yes, Pembroke was founded by Lady Ashbury. She's also our largest donor.
If I may inquire, how did you meet her?
Well, Jonathan, she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
¿Eso parece?
A convenient yet expensive way to have a fresh supply of blood on hand, day and night, don't you think?
All vampires drink blood by nature. Me, I praise the lady's exemplary moral fiber.
Do you know anything about the vampire hunters in the East End?
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of Prewen. Zealots to the last man.
Where do they come from?
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention, but they concluded vampires were a scourge.
They're definitely well organized and equipped.
They're extremely dangerous and not to be trifled with. To them, you're a feral beast, and I, your accomplice.
We'll talk later.
A ver, no me puedo comer hasta el 6. Así se evitan de que te comes a la gente antes de que te den las misiones principales. Bien, adelante, adelante. Secundarias. Estas están. Aquí no hay. Y aquí están también. Este tenía migraña y este se está recuperando ya. Vale. Y este se está recuperando también. Soy un gran médico. Ese es el que se está recuperando de aquí. Aquí este tiene agotamiento, pero patata. Y aquí quedan los de dolores de cabezas, que son ese, este y ese que se está recuperando ya. Esta está muerta. El viejo este en realidad está desaparecido, no sé en dónde va. Y esta es la muda. La muda Camelia 5000 de experiencia y tiene que cautivar 5, así que seguramente la necesitemos más adelante en la historia. Y este tiene que cautivar 2 porque seguramente ya no se use para nada más. Y nos lo podríamos comer si lo encontráramos. Pero bueno, está bastante mal ese barrio. Tampoco es plan ahora comernos aquí a todo el mundo, ¿sabes? Y ahora tenemos que ir para aquí para arriba, al funeral.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Me cago en la puta. Estoy yendo para el lado que no es. ¿Es por aquí? No. Cago. Hay que ver una calle aquí. Es este, entiendo. Sí, es este. Esa gente paso. ¡Au! ¡Puta madre! ¡Hombre, ya! No puede uno venir a un funeral tranquilo. Aquí no se puede entrar, ¿no? No tiene pinta. Di tú que a ver quién hace un funeral de noche. Supongo que es para poder asistir a él, porque... Como soy vampiro, tienen que hacer el funeral de noche.
Sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Siempre me da la impresión de que están muy lejos, porque como solo les ves el corazón. Maravilloso. Sigamos. Tengo un contraatacaito chungo. Me van con los brazos así para arriba. Tengo que asistir discretamente al funeral. Seré todo lo discreto que pueda.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony. Avery, I leave you to care for my mother. I'm in no state to comfort her.
Este será un lugar discreto. Seguro que nadie mira aquí arriba.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Ay, señora, no se tire usted a la tumba.
Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place.
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Voy a tener que matar a Mary, se va a levantar.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
Ya sé que es Lady Asmus.
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
How is it possible? Tell me. Is it so easy to take a life every night, and then just smile and nod at those you spared?
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries, and time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
¿A dónde me tengo que ir a confesar? Ah, a la iglesia del cura loco. Pero ese cura está loco. Pobres bancos.
This is no place for you, sir.
Paso de ti.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ay, la Mao. Pedazo de bicho.
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
¿Y quién es este puto loco colgado?
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Sorry, sir. No admittance.
En fin, malditos noobs. Tengo hambre y te voy a comer. Y bolo. A la iglesia. Aunque ese señor me dijo que no me confiese que me pega, ¿eh? ¿No está la muda? ¡La muda! Ah, esta no es la muda. ¿Dónde está la muda? Ah. Aquí está la muda. Estoy cogiendo flores.
Hello again, miss. Very well.
Vale. No me vas a contar nada. Pero tengo que ir a ver al viejo antes de ir a la iglesia. A ver si está el viejo también. Digo yo que si está la muda estará el viejo comunista. Y después voy a misa. A no confesar mis pecados, porque no lo voy a hacer. Ese bicho era muy grande y no quiero que se enfade conmigo. El periodista, la puta. Están esos dos. Siempre pidiéndole dinero. Está el toto el culo. No está el viejo. El viejo ha desaparecido. ¿Ven? ¿2000 de experiencia ese? 2700 este. ¿Puedo contarle algo más? ¡Oli! O no se esperaba que hablara con él. Me mola. Cargando.
You again? What do you want this time?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I saw her wandering the streets. Yesterday, I think. She didn't recognize me. People say she's lost it. It's a sad story.
Mucho.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Oh. Y si ese cartel era nuevo. ¿Dónde está la puerta? Ahí, ahí. Hola, hippie colgado.
What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
No entiendo esta conversación. Son por un difunto.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What words would you like to say to your poor sister?
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Mejor decirle esto que no decirle, mira, maté yo a mi hermana y patata. Y ahora tengo que volver al hospital otra vez. Al hospital que vamos.
There. I confessed to that vicar.
Pues le mentiste.
Do I feel better? Only time will tell.
Tengo que saber dónde están las medicinas de las migrañas. Es por aquí. Joder. Es muy importante que encuentre las medicinas de las migrañas. Para las medicinas, la fórmula para eso. Aquí no me la vende ni Cristo. No. Aquí el primero que hay que matar es al párroco. Oh, hostia. Este me hace mucho poco. Y ahora ya. Pero, sal. Me quedé atascado. Muy bien. Hola, señores ghouls. Que no les parezca mal que los interrumpa. ¡Hostia! ¡Hostia puta! Ay, no. A ver, perro, pórtate bien, ¿eh? Pero, dale. La madre que te parió. Joder, el puto perro. Vale, ya recogí muchas cosas. Pero ahí se va a algún sitio. Está cerrado, ¿no?
It's locked.
Vale. ¿Eso que está sonando es mi teléfono? Sí, sí que lo es. Continuamos. Para bingo. Ay, Dios. Toma. Oli. Que no, que... Por eso yo no fijo objetivos. Cada vez que fijo objetivos me aparece un pavo de estos, el objetivo se me cambia para el otro señor y acabo mal. Oh, ahí quedaba un señor. Pues necesito sangre, ¿sabes? Así que toma. Toma. Ya toma. ¡Oh! ¿El pistolero este de dónde sale? ¿Qué cosas más extrañas están pasando? Venga, para tu casa. Me das cosas, ¿no? Y sigue siendo por aquí. Yo estoy más perdido. Hoy estoy más perdido.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you.
Tiene cuernos. ¿Qué es esto? Un timiche fijo.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making. This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you? I am the land. You are our champion. Tell me what you are. I am the whitened bones and blackened soil. The land made blood coursing through thy veins. What is it you seek? This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged. This has something to do with the epidemic. Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
¿Qué cojones?
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave.
¿Qué
So the
cojones?
vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he
Ah, mira, ya
just
sé hacer
projecting this
tratamiento para la
vision in my
cefalea.
mind?
Porque al encontrarlo en un sitio debe de ser que ya aprende a hacerlo. Estos señores tienen migraña y para la migraña no tengo.
Maybe Edgar can help me with this one. It's locked, all right.
Ya también estaba cerrada, si no me equivoco.
It's locked.
Mira, chelines. Está discutiendo. ¿Con quién? ¿Ah?
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Yo me escondo. Me los estoy cargando a todos, uno a uno, según parece.
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
Puedo robarte cosas, que yo no noto. Ay, señor Swansea. Una señal que va a ser de la morgue. Este señor. Y aquí hay otra nota. Carta de aviso. Debo informarle que mi misma serie va en torno al caso del doctor no sé quién. Dice algo así. Sido especializado tras un grave accidente laboral. Podría perder para siempre la movilidad en el brazo si no recibe un tratamiento adecuado. El doctor. Vale. Tengo que hablar con el señor negro. Oh, un periódico. Esto se coge. Por aquí no hay nada. A ver, ¿qué quieres, Swansea?
What happened? The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Yo os protejo a
Rest
todos, estoy
assured, I will
cultísimo.
protect you and your staff.
McCallum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Está en la planta de arriba.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
¿Quién murió? La vieja, ¿no? De aquí.
What on earth happened here?
Madrid. Limpia, limpia, que tienes chollo.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only
Vale.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him?
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Hola.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Would you care to partake in this meal with me?
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Bueno.
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you,
Me lo cargo.
but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
Vale.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Adiós.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Thank you, my lady.
Creo que es suficiente por
I
ahí.
hope to see you again soon.
Voy a escuchar una conversación a escondidas. está pinchando.
Damn it! Why is this so difficult every time? That is better. That is better. I will make it through one more night.
O sea, se está pinchando para aguantar despierto. ¿Qué se está pinchando? ¿Qué está haciendo el toto? Tú, a hablar conmigo.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Bueno.
I know you're taking drugs, Corcoran. Why take such a risk?
I need it to endure the long shifts. We have no idea how long the epidemic will last. We can't let it win.
For God's sake, what are you thinking? How can you be so irresponsible?
Irresponsible? I am devoted to my work. I am doing this for all the patients who need our help. I cannot abandon them.
Podría comérmelo, pero tampoco me da mucha experiencia.
I know you're
I need it to endure the...
For God...
Irresponsible...
Nurse Brannigan has been recently accused of neglecting her professional duties. Tell me what you really think about it.
This kind of protest is nothing but elitist bullshit. I trust Nurse Brannigan with my life. She has what it takes to be a great doctor.
Do you really think she could be the next Elizabeth Blackwell?
Believe me, Dr. Reed, a time will come when skill and skill alone will determine who can be a physician and who cannot.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
¿Puedo decirle a este que se está chutando? Tú, quiero hablar.
If you don't mind, I have a few...
I'd be delighted.
What exactly happened here while I was absent?
Hampton turned, quite violently as it happened. Lurking about, attacked Miss Jones. To say he created quite a commotion would be an understatement.
Are you sure it was Hampton that killed Miss Jones?
There was blood everywhere, but no body. And you know the state she was in. I fear for what he did with her. Hopefully he just hid the corpse.
How did the Guard of Prewin come to hear of this?
McCullum has spies everywhere. He will jump at any opportunity to disparage the Brotherhood and show his contempt.
¿Y quién es ese señor que estaba
Who
ahí
was that
tan
man in your office?
cabreado?
Jeffrey McCullum, actual leader of the Guard of Prewin. I suspect he's the man behind the rebirth of this old and dusty society.
They know I'm here now, don't they?
I understand your need for blood. and will not get in your way. But if you could refrain from feeding within these walls, it would go a long way to defending your case.
What do they hope to achieve?
Their ultimate goal is the eradication of all vampires in the country. They see you as a threat to mankind, Jonathan.
I recently tried to enter a church. It has been a very unpleasant experience.
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of faith and vampirism has proved somewhat insubstantial, to say the least.
Is this proof that I'm cursed in the eyes of the divine?
The wrath of the Almighty? There's no way of knowing. It could be subconscious guilt, or irrational fear, or deep-seated beliefs.
It's hard to explain in terms of science, that's for sure.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater insight into this matter.
No, no me dice muchas cosas.
I just recently met the strangest creature in Whitechapel. He was immense. He mocked me and accused me of hypocrisy.
Perhaps it was a skull. London's streets are overflowing with them these days.
It was a vampire, all right. But what kind, I'm not sure. He was large and very fast.
If you find anything more about this creature, the Brotherhood would greatly appreciate any information you could spare.
He was observing me with the obvious intent to do me harm. His very presence evoked a palpable sense of menace.
You need to be careful, Jonathan. You've no idea what this creature really is.
Vale.
Thank you, Edgar.
Adiós, Edgar. No te puedo decir que el otro se chuta. Tienes un drogadito en tu hospital. Subnormal. ¿Dónde tengo que ir? Abajo de todos los muelles. Y tengo la poción esta para el... ¿Qué es esto? Muerte de sangre. Estos no son. Estas. Tratamiento de la cefalea. Tengo uno. Tratamiento para la bronquitis. No tengo. Para el resfriado tengo 2. Y para el agotamiento tengo también. Vale. Si allí hay un agotado. O hay un agotado, pues entonces a ver.
It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
Fear no evil. We do the Lord's work here.
No me tires gases de esos, ¿eh? Hombre, ya. Uy. está el barrio, mi madre. Hay que seguir todo recto, no hacia el muelle. Todo recto. Joder, más peña. Vamos. 2 lanzallamas y un señor normal. ¿Se ve por aquí atrás? Hay sitio para ir. ¿Dónde estoy yendo? Sí, parece que sí. Por aquí para allá. Por esas puertas. Muelle de Milhouse. Hola Frank, ¿cómo estás, viejo amigo? Me encantó el resto de la semana pasada, pero la próxima vez déjame pagar alguna ronda. Que todo vaya bien por toda la ciudad, que un poco... Mira tú por dónde estaba aquí. Oli. Oli. ¿Por qué no puedo hablar con él? Hola, quiero hablar contigo. Mira, hay una señora que no conozco.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I don't have any money for you leeches.
I'm not here for charity, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
¿Vendes cosas? Sí.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
No vende nada de lo que yo quiero. A ver.
Good evening.
Hello again.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife, and his name means something round here.
Are you aware of what happened to him?
Yes. I'm sure he fought till the end and looked death in the eyes. The boys will mourn him. Except one of them, maybe.
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair
¿Sabes
enough.
que yo me comí a tu marido?
Stay away from us then.
Porque a lo mejor no lo sabes, pero ya te lo digo.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Quiero hablar con ese señor y no me deja.
This part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever.
Y más
You're a
antihigiene.
doctor and all. Maybe you can
Porque
access
vaya
that
por Dios.
forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the Wet Boot Boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Bueno, pues muy bien. Busco al Singh Hampton.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
¿Puedo hablar ya con el señor este? Que está disparando a una pared. Ah, sí, ya puedo hablar
Good
con
evening,
él.
sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you
O
remember.
te pegue yo un zarpazo y te reviente la vida.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Aquí ya abre, ¿no? Preguntas personales.
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really. One of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Don't you see it's an endless spiral? One day, it will be you who will be stabbed, or shot, or worse.
That's what my sweet Edwina always says, that one day I'll get it too. But she says it with the most beautiful smile, my Edwina.
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know.
Ya, bueno. Busco el
Do you
señor
know
Hampton.
where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint.
Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cat. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Hasta luego.
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a...
Whatever do you mean?
Just don't work.
I'm a tracker of these creatures.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
The sewer dog is back. And hunting all these poor folk, he needs to catch him.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
Ah, aquí está mi amigo el borracho, señor.
Good evening, sir.
Traigo su cura 6 meses
Don't you
después.
recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And
hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can
Juramento
afford.
hipocrático. Logro desbloqueado. Esto ya...
what do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at...
Está bien.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I
Oli, mi
prefer
caralla.
dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am, Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you?
Ese
Drink
cara
in
está
the
jugando
morning
la
and at
Moche en
noon,
Portugal.
I drink at night.
La copa esta de Mercedes-Benz que no sé de dónde salió.
Is there anything
Están en
in
semis
particular
contra
that you
Cubify, ¿no?
like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
Contra el Winstreak. Es que en la Liquipedia parecía Cubify, pero no sé. Pero lo tengo ahí en pequeñito, tampoco veo los nombres. Pero está Balbina. Balbina no era de Cubify. Cambiaron de nombre.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it, and now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there.
Siempre.
Even
Siempre.
if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Puto borracho.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
No reason at all to rejoice.
Let me tell you a story.
Another Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young, like everybody else.
Sure. I wanted things to change.
No me lo puedo comer,
To
hombre.
really
Me cae bien,
change,
es el
to
pobre
change
borracho
for
del pueblo.
good.
¿Cómo te vas a comer al borracho del
The
pueblo?
bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
Este da 500 de experiencia, es un desperdicio de tiempo y colmillos.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believe that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Señor más aburrido. Estoy
I'm looking for
buscando al
Mr. Sean
señor Hampton.
Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me then?
About the sad saint. I'll try asking Tom what's about him.
Primero le voy a preguntar a aquella señora de allá atrás, que seguro que sabe muchas cosas. ¿Hay alguien más aparte de Tom y la señora? ¿No?
Evening.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
If you're uncertain about your safety here, the docks might not be the right place for you.
I got responsibilities. And it's not like I got the money to move anywhere else anyway.
Pues háfate.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Oh, muy bien. ¿Y dónde
Miss
está
Cavendish,
Hampton?
would you be willing to help me locate Sean Hampton?
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer me directly?
We respect the privacy of our customers here, sir. Only Tom.
Goodbye, Miss
Vale. Tengo que hablar con Tom. Todo el mundo me manda a hablar con Tom. Pues hablo con Tom.
Good evening, Tom.
Good
Buenas
evening,
noches,
sir.
Tom.
How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
Sí, mejor vestido y
Of course I
sin un
do.
agujero en el
You're
pecho.
that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin.
La ginebra es importante. Los gin tónicos digestivos calman
How
a
could a
cualquiera.
physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
Bien, una llave.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Gracias,
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
señor Watts. Me falta el policía este por hablar con él. A usted aún no lo conoce. Hola, señor.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Está más cerca tuya del que te espera.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, How exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Este señor es un impostor. Es de los de experiencia decente.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
Entiendo.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Okay.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender.
Ya, ese ya me ayuda.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
¿Quién es esa señora? ¿Señora? Una señora limpiando la ventana.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
Soy un gran vampiro. Porque ahora le voy a desvalijar la casa. Ah,
it's locked,
mierda.
all right.
Desvalijamiento. Bien.
The last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing.
Vamos a hablar.
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
¿Y quién es tu hijo? Bueno.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no. My Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
Vaya por Dios. No conozco a Seymour. No, debe ser uno de estos.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the Sad Saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
Gracias, señora.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
No habrá otra entrada.
Seems like the guard of everyone is on Sean Hampton's track.
Eso quema, carajo. Para de dispararme, puta. Y parar ya con el puto soplete. Hostia ya. Coño bendito. Eso ya no es ruido de humano. ¿Ves? No se puede pasar por aquí. Mira un bug. ¡Qué ico! Uy. Gracias por bajar. Un nivel bastante alto por aquí, ¿no? Tú, qué casa tan bonita, tan apañada. Uy, un curvo. Señor. ¿Qué cojones? No por dónde saltar para abajo. Vaya por ahí. ¿Cómo se baja de aquí? Ah, hay aquí una escalera, cara. ¿A dónde llegué a todo esto? Ah, bueno. Avancé muchísimo. Estoy en otro punto de la ciudad. Oli. ¿Y usted es?
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you need any help?
Rest assured, I will help you, sir. Martin Nightingale, at your service. Please, take a look at my wares.
Your merchandise. I don't really see anything worth having. No offense.
None taken, sir. But please, I need to eat. Perhaps if you keep looking, you'd see something that takes your fancy.
Let me be frank. You're as much of a businessman as I am a werewolf, right?
Who the hell are you to question me? It's hard enough to stay clean when you don't have a place to sleep. I'm doing my best here.
I meant no offense, Mr. Nightingale. I was merely pointing out the fact that you're unlikely to survive long if you continue wandering this path.
And what should I do then, sir? Should I join the Wet Boot Boys like so many others? No thanks. I'd rather be a bad seller than a dead gang member.
Oye,
What
no le
can you
falta
tell me
razón.
about the neighborhood? Have you got any friends around these parts?
Not really. Miss Gillingham smiles and says kind words, but I know she's lost her marbles, especially since her son died.
Tell me about this crazy woman. Madness is often mistaken for other conditions.
The poor woman's mad, all right. Kind and all, but she has so much trouble remembering things. She's taken me for a son more than once.
How interesting. I don't suppose you know what happened to her son.
Jack! Rumour has it he tried to tackle some gang lads. I didn't know him well, but I heard he was a nice enough chap. His old ma still thinks he's around.
Why not try seeking help instead of peddling your wares? I'm sure there are people around here that would gladly help.
There's always the night asylum. I heard it's run by a very nice man, but I'm no beggar. Not yet, at least.
There is no shame in asking for help, my boy. Sometimes it can even be the best course of action.
I don't feel okay with that. I'm gonna make a name for myself, and I'll do it by myself.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
He's a caretaker for the poor, is he not?
Something like that, yes.
Sorry, I don't know where he is.
Show me what you have to offer then, Mr. Nightingale.
¿Qué vendes? Caja de música. Facciones vampíricas y skulls. Esto se lo voy a comprar porque nunca se sabe. ¿Y la caja de música vale pago? Supongo que no. ¿Y esto qué es? Muestra sangre vigorosa, ¿no? Grasa, frascos, nada.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir? You seem quite a stranger to these.
A ver, ¿dónde está la puta loca? Allá. Aquí puedo entrar.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr.
Ah,
Jonathan
puta loca.
Reed. May I come in?
I already took my medication, Doctor. But thank you.
I'm sorry. Your medication? Have we met before?
Don't tease me like that, Jack. Sorry, what?
I think I should come in, miss. I'd like to check if everything is okay, what with the epidemic spreading across London.
An epidemic, you say? How terrible. I had no idea. But where are my manners? Please do come in, Doctor. You are a doctor, yes?
Sí, soy doctor. Esté ahí sentada que yo le visualizo la casa y después hablamos. Como siempre, es mi modus operandi normal, ¿eh? Carta incompleta. ¿Cierto que lo mataste? No me acuerdo de la persona. O sea, su hijo es el que mató al... Es el que mató a uno de los de la banda, ¿no?
It's locked.
Todo esto, ¿en qué distrito estoy ya? Pero... ¿En este? No. Sigo en este. De los muelles. Ay, sí, mírala, aquí está. Con su cefalea. Pero la cefalea la puedo curar si encuentro un refugio. Vamos a hablar con la vieja loca.
So, Dr. Tippets, what brings you back here?
Ah, Doctor
I
Tippets.
heard whispers you had a job at that fancy hospital.
I told you my name is Jonathan Reed. Don't you remember?
Of course I do. I remember my name too. Gillingham. But you may call me Enid, Doctor. I'm very happy to see you again.
I'm looking for a Sean Hampton. Do you know where I might find him?
Sean Hampton, you say? Oh, the name does seem vaguely familiar, but alas, I cannot recall from where.
Vaya por Dios.
Who are the more influential figures on the docks?
Well, I heard about some terrible illness going around. I would say in that case that it's you, Dr. Tippets.
Bien, soy el Doctor Tippets ahora.
Is anyone taking care of you, Miss Gillingham?
My son is always here to take care of me. He's a good boy like that, but I do worry that he needs to start living his own life. Why, I would never say that to him, of course.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Oh, no. I don't gossip. That would be most unbecoming of a lady such as myself.
Goodbye, Miss
Nada,
Gillingham.
señora. Páselo usted bien. Hable con el joven que se esconde tras el cantarillo. No me dijo
Good
nada
evening,
de
young
ti.
man. There's no need to call me that, Doc.
No.
Goodbye.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir? You seem quite a stranger to these parts.
No, un refugio. Le puedo hacer la medicina a la vieja. Esta, ¿no? Fórmula desconocida. Oh. Oh. Yo pensaba que al haberla conseguido en el otro lado, que el señor ya podía hacerla. Se ve que no. A ver, ¿dónde estoy? ¿Para dónde tengo que ir? Para allá. Por aquí. Bueno, es que la gente sigue viva, lo cual es bueno, supongo.
It's locked, all right.
Bueno, viva, más o menos. Hola, señora.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
Enemigo de la clase obrera, me gusta. ¿A qué se
May I
dedica usted?
ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
Sí.
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
Why such
A la
hatred?
gente no le gusta.
Are you judging me by my clothes and my job?
Course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
Oh no, Miss Paxton, you really don't know my kind. You have no idea who I am.
All right, okay. No need to get all worked up.
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh. You want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am. Well, I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
What is it you want? Does he owe you money? Has he displeased your Royal Highness? I'm no snitch, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well, I'll leave you
No
for
eres
now.
una chivata, eres una
Goodbye,
subnormal. De esa gente que te encuentras por Twitter. Limpia, limpia.
Good evening, miss.
Cuéntame qué limpia.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the
Joder,
docks?
otro igual.
Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town.
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The sad saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
What can you tell me about the Sad Saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the sad saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he's not always sad.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
No tengo problema en las espaldas.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No. I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble, you can always seek help at Sean Hampton's shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
Mr. Hampton must be in his office at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why do you want to see him?
He was a patient of mine at the Pembroke Hospital, but he left abruptly.
I see. Well, Mr. Hampton is a discreet and dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him soon enough.
Seguro.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Ahí está. ¿Hay algo para robar? Por aquí viene una carta. Hampton. Sí, aquí todo el mundo quiere muchísimo al señor Hampton, pero se los va a papar a todos. Frente a la fábrica de municiones Dawson. Esa debe de ser la bomba de... La bomba de la otra misión, ¿no?
I cannot enter.
Es una bajada de las alcantarillas. ¿Qué es este sitio? Una caja. Un chilín. Una carta quemada. Joder, hay cartas por todos lados. Últimamente he oído que los ayudantes durante meses sí, dinero y ayuda de forma necesaria. Más chelines. Son pobres, pero tienen chelines tirados por todas las esquinas de la ciudad. Quiero decir, a poco que busquen. No sé cómo estará el cambio chelín-euro, pero... Mi madre. Está Sir Hampton como si no pasase nada. No, no quiero hablar, quiero robar el mueble que tiene delante. Deja... Ahí. No.
Why the long face, Doctor?
Uy, qué cara tienes.
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
Do you think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to eat flesh, no blood.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I'm needed.
No me gusta. Si ya es bastante malo un vampiro sin mentor, o sea, sé yo. Imagínate un vampiro sin mentor llevado por la IA.
Wonders never cease.
Al principio un Skal, que no beben sangre, que se comen carne. O sea, que descuartizan a la peña.
A vampire doctor. Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost, separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I'll surrender myself to your judgment.
Vale, o sea que no lo puedo
We'll have a
matar
talk when you've returned.
ahora. Pero podré matar en otro momento. ¿Cuántos secundarios tengo?
The sewers, Dr. Reed.
Pues va a quedar esto aquí. Sí, mira, Gaia, este me lo quiero cargar, pero no puedo. De momento. Porque como es de misión principal, pues patata. Y ahora voy a cerrar, que llevamos 2 horitas. Así que echado.